Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Shoe Snob videos. Here we are going to touch on a subject that I've written about that I haven't really put into video yet, but I really want to share with you guys some what I think is important information. And that is the idea of needing to condition your shoes right out of the box when you buy them. Now, in anything, in any kind of rules of shoe care, there is no firm defined rule. Everything is a case by case basis. But I can tell you from years of experience with millions of different shoemakers, thousands of pairs that I've owned myself, handling shoes from when I used to shine shoes professionally from every maker you can think of, from polishing them all, from caring for their all. I've learned a few things over the years. So there's what I feel is a common misconception going around the webosphere that you need to condition your dress shoes right when you buy them straight out of the box. Now, you can. That's not to say you can't, but it's not a you have to. It's a case by case. It's a make by make. It's a quality by quality. It's a leather by leather. So it's a weather by weather. There's so many things, and it's just crazy when people say you must, you have to, you should, because hey, buy this because you should use this. But no, it's not really the case. So I pulled out a little video to show you how good a pair of shoes can look after being in storage for about 4 or 5 years. So take a look. Here we have a shoe that's been sitting in storage for about 4 or 5 years. Left with a nice little shine just to maintain it because I don't really wear all black formal style kind of Oxfords very often. But as you can see, fresh out of the garage where it faces 90-degree weather and high humidities, as well as less than 20-degree weather and super cold. So as you can see, with a good shine, the leather stands. So as you can see, now this shoe had a nice shine. I'm not gonna lie, I put a great shine on it as a way to store it because I don't really wear all black kind of formal style Oxfords very often. I don't really go to many events, and to be honest, I just don't wear Oxfords that often anymore. I'm really boot loafer guy. But these shoes have been sitting, I've lived in New York City now, New Jersey area, and they've been sitting for about 2 years in a controlled environment. But in New York City, if you know, the heat goes automatically and it can get very hot and humid inside your apartment. It can also get quite cold. So at the same time, I've now been living in New Jersey for about a year, and those have been sitting in the garage outside where there's no controlled environment. There's no kind of like weatherproof insulation. So that shoe has experienced extreme heat in the summer and extreme cold in the winter. And as you see, I pulled it out and it looks brand new, looks beautiful, looks clean, looks perfect. So that is to just show that a good leather treated properly is going to maintain itself in storage. Now, not all shoemakers sell great shoes that are treated properly during the shoe production. Some shoes are made with dry, horrible leather, and yes, you should condition those. But again, that's not every shoe. High quality shoemakers treat their shoes well as a part of the finishing process. So even if that shoe sits for 10 years in storage, you pull it out and it's going to be beautiful, especially in a controlled environment, especially inside somewhere. If it's sitting in the middle of the desert in something that's not insulated or protected, sure, your leather is probably going to be dry. But again, case by case. So the reason for this subject is a lot of people automatically assume, because they've been trained, they've been told by somebody, you must condition your shoes before wearing them once you buy them. That is false. You don't must. You can if you need to, but it's not a must. And the reason I care about this is because countless times I've had people email me saying they've ruined their shoes by doing this. And this is why it's case by case. Because you can ruin your shoes if you don't know what you're doing. Because conditioners are often concentrated products, and most people unfortunately love to cake product on. They don't know how to use a little. They just slap it on and slather it, and then next thing you know, the finish is ruined. And then they think it's the shoemaker's fault or whoever's fault, and they go on and complain online, but really it's only your fault because A, you didn't need to, B, you put way too much, and C, again, you don't need to. So two of the three, you don't need to. You got to really know your product. And even if your leather is, let's just say, a little dry, it doesn't hurt to wear them once or twice first. It's not going to kill the shoe. It's not going to destroy the shoe, but it is going to soften that leather, open those pores, and help for those pores to better accept that nourishment. Because in the beginning, when the pores are all tight and closed, this nourishment just sits on the surface, and that's why you can just take your finish right with it. So as you can see from a pair that I pulled out, sitting in storage for about 4 or 5 years. Granted, it had a good shine on it. Most factories don't put that high of a shine. Some do, like, you know, I've seen, say, Christmas shoes come with phenomenal shines, more because they're a handmade pair by pair type thing. G&G shines their shoes by hand. I've watched that in the factory. So when you have good shoes, it's not a must that you condition them when you pull them out of the box, especially if they're light tan. Black, feel free to put whatever you want on that, because black is resilient and it can withstand most things. But when you have a light pair of tan, or even just light anything, burgundy, green, and if it's crust, leather, museum, calf, etc., don't just slather on conditioners right out of the box, because you don't have to, and you do run the risk of ruining your shoes. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys again a shoe that's been sitting in storage for about 4 or 5 years with a nice polish, and how it looks perfect right out of the box. Just had dust bags, again, in all kinds of heat, cold, dry, wet, humidity. I had my garage leaked in, so you can imagine how wet it was in there. You can imagine the humidity that has gone on in that shoe. Anyway, I hope this helped. I just want to again shed some light on the fact that all rules are not hardcore rules. They're case by case. Thanks very much for tuning in. Bye.